Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in this video today, we're going to be talking about day number 2 of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers mandatory mini camp, and we are getting this information and these notes from John Ledyard over at pewterreport.com. Great friend of the channel. I will have the Pewter Report YouTube channel linked down in the pinned comment in the comment section below. Go subscribe to them and give them some support and check out their website as well. But I've taken some of John's notes, I have paraphrased, abbreviated them, if you will, shortened them, and we're going to be talking about some of the players who did good and some of the players who did not do so good. So first things first, talking about Blaine Gabbard, the Buccaneers backup quarterback, he had a couple of really good throws to Tanner Hudson and Mike Evans during practice, and then later on, he had a pretty nice throw in stride to Cyril Grayson, who we've actually mentioned a couple of times. Cyril Grayson, we will see where he'll figure into this equation later on in that wide receiver room, but Tanner Hudson, Mike Evans, Blaine Gabbard, those have been, connections that have been good for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in recent memory. Obviously, Tanner Hudson is just, a preseason, off-season workout type of beast, and Mike Evans, he's Mike Evans. So, Blaine Gabbard, good to see him make some good plays there, some good connections, be it with backups or starting guys. It's always good to see. However, Blaine Gabbard also had 2 dropped interceptions on back-to-back plays by Jamel Dean. So he does have to improve. He still has some ways to go. He still has the confidence of the coaching staff and the front office, but there is always room for improvement. Jamel Dean, man, you got to come down with those interceptions. Apparently, according to John, one of those would have been a pick 6, so got to come down with those interceptions, but very good of Jamel Dean, good coverage, good instincts to get his hands on the football. And hey, while it wasn't an interception, that technically counts as 2 pass breakups, so we'll take that every single day of the week. Kyle Trask had some very good throws during the red zone portion of practice, which was very good. However, he also had an interception during practice. This was by Nate Brooks, who we've actually mentioned a couple of times. We talked about him in OTAs. I believe he was at rookie minicamp, although I can't remember, but I know for sure we talked about him multiple times in OTAs. So, hey, Nate Brooks continues to set himself apart, make some good plays. He's really one of the only guys that we've been talking about a lot in that 5th cornerback job, besides, say, Antonio Hamilton, Chris Wilcox a little bit, Cameron Kinley, but as I said in the previous video, he's off with the Navy right now. He's not allowed to play, so Nate Brooks just continues to make plays, continues to set up momentum for himself. We'll see where that goes, but I'm just saying, Nate Brooks has been mentioned a lot. Curtis Riley also had an interception on Tom Brady, and he was labeled as a key backup during practice. Now, just to kind of say what that is, so the Buccaneers have been running with 2 squads, basically. On one side of the field, they have the, backups of backups, right? Your 3rd string guys, your 4th string guys, maybe even some of your 2nd stringers, things like that. And then with the other side of the field, they have their starters and what they have deemed as their key backups. These are guys who are basically fringe starters, that's a good term I always like to use, and like main backups, like Blaine Gabbard's over there a lot of the time. So, and Tanner Hudson among some of those other guys. But Curtis Riley had went from the, backup of backups group, and he is now with the main backups and starters group, which is a great progression for Curtis Riley, who was on a tryout contract in the rookie minicamp. He has come all the way to the, starting / fringe starter group. However, a couple of plays after he got that interception on Tom Brady, which proves he belongs in that group, by the way, he did suffer a foot injury of some capacity a couple of plays after he made that interception, and it resulted in him getting carted off the field for this practice, which sucks. Hope that Curtis Riley is healthy, can get back into the swing of things. It seems like he had a ton of momentum going for himself, and it sucks to get an injury like that. Speaking of injuries, Jaylon Darden returned to practice, but was limited in a capacity, so it is nice to get him out there after he was out for a little bit. Another point to note is Joe Tryon versus Brad Seaton was a thing, and a quote here from John Ledyard, Joe Tryon forklifted Brad Seaton, which means he just got the absolute best of him on that rep. Again, Bruce Arians gave some praise to Joe Tryon, and now it seems like he's doing pretty decent in one-on-ones, so overall good job there for Joe Tryon. Antoine Winfield Jr. and Kevin Minter both had good days in coverage as well. Good of them to just be solid guys. I mean, Antoine Winfield Jr., he's a starter, obviously. Kevin Minter, he's a fringe starter type of guy. Brady connected well with Evans, Gronkowski, and Brate during practice. You always love to see that. Carlton Davis had a good day in coverage and a pass breakup on Tom Brady. This is the second day in a row that we've mentioned Carlton Davis. He does some pretty good stuff. Scotty Miller had a fantastic day, making multiple tough catches and touchdown catches from Tom Brady. Nice to see that rapport. Nice to see that connection still going strong with Scotty Miller and Tom Brady. We'll see what happens with the back half of that wide receiver room, guys. You got Tyler Johnson, Scotty Miller, Jalen Darden now, jaydon mickens, who's been doing some good things. There's so many good, talented wide receivers that really a lot of things are up in the air, in my opinion. Here's another interesting note. Jarrell Adams had a very nice day in the red zone, catching 3 touchdowns from Kyle Trask. Jarrell Adams was another player on a tryout contract. He was there in rookie minicamp. He was there in OTAs, and now he's starting to make some noise in mandatory minicamp. Good job for Adams. Their big tight end, by the way. That was one of the big things, for puns. That was one of the bigger things that I had talked about when Adams had signed. Is like, this dude's a big guy. He's your prototypical, just big, go up and get it type of tight end, and he's proving it in the red zone. Cody McElroy, however, did not have that great of a day. He had a rough day, dropping multiple passes during practice. He only had 1 touchdown in the red zone, so we'll see where that tight end room shakes up. I mean, Tanner Hudson, Jarrell Adams, Cody McElroy, all those guys battling for a potential 4th tight end spot, if there is one. There's a lot of healthy competition, and you know what? I think it's good competition, because you see guys like Jarrell Adams who come out of nowhere in one day of practice and just go lights out, and that's the kind of stuff I personally live for, man. I like seeing these guys go out there and make an impact, because you never know who's going to make an impact. Quentin Bell had a fumble recovery on a bad snap from Robert Hainsey. Donnell Stanley also played center during practice as well. I do want to say Robert Hainsey, he did have a good day after that one bad snap. He did play a little bit of guard. Seemed like he was definitely more comfortable at center now, which is interesting to me considering, the man played guard in college to some degree. He played tackle mainly in college. He had never played center before. He came in and now he's comfortable at center. I mean, that just shows the versatility of Hainsey, what he can do. Young guy, he's working with AQ Shipley every single day. It's a good place to be for Hainsey, and it seems like he's doing a pretty good job. I do want to say, too, Ryan Jensen had a couple of bad snaps during this practice. It wasn't because of anything crazy. The man just has sweaty hands, which is... It's a weird thing. It sounds weird, right? But it's a legitimate thing. So Bruce Arians literally made a note after practice to say, hey, got to keep Ryan Jensen's hands dry. Maybe he'll wear gloves. I don't know. We'll wait and see. Maybe he'll wear one glove with his snapping hand. Who knows? But yeah, a couple of guys had a couple of bad snaps here at the center position. I wouldn't overreact and freak out about it too much. Everybody will be okay. But by the way, good job for Quentin Bell to get that fumble recovery. He's still proving what he can do. Anthony Nelson's made a couple of good plays as that 4th edge rusher. Joe Tryon's making some plays. So good job for Quentin Bell to say, hey, don't forget about me. I can do some things as well. So good job for the young guy there trying to establish a role for himself, roster spot, practice squad spot, whatever you want to call it. He's making some plays and the most of his opportunities. Raven Green had another good day of practice, breaking up a pass in the end zone. We talked about him yesterday. We talked about him a little bit here on the channel in recent weeks. Raven Green's an interesting guy. He came in from Green Bay, big safety. Apparently, he's looking jacked, baby, out there. And he could be an interesting guy as a backup safety, a special teams guy. He's competing with Javon Hagan for that backup safety job. And, who knows? Who knows? That should be a very interesting training camp battle moving forward. I'm excited to see both those guys. Joe Jones also is just looking absolutely beastly out there. He's looking very similarly built to Devin White. He's also a very good guy on special teams, and he can do some pretty interesting things on defense as well. We talked about Kevin Minter. Obviously, KJ Britt and Grant Stewart are there. Like, low-key, I know people aren't thinking about it too much, but low-key, or even high-key, whatever you want to say, there's a lot of good competition right now, guys, at a lot of different spots on this roster. So definitely don't count anybody out. I think a lot of spots could potentially be up in the air. Obviously the starters are entrenched and whatnot, but some of these key special teams and backup jobs, just saying, man. Just saying there's a lot of good guys out there playing some good football. finally, Raheem Nunez Roche, Nacho, if you will, had a very good run defense play against Giovani Bernard towards the end of the practice, and Nacho did his thing. He was talking a little bit of smack, which I love that type of mentality as well. Nacho's a very good backup defensive lineman, and Giovani Bernard, hey, he can still do some very good things, but, you know, going up right up against Nacho, big man in his own right, that's tough for any running back. I don't care who you are. So, cool way to end practice. Overall, not a bad day. The quarterbacks seem to be doing a pretty decent job. Didn't hear anything about Ryan Griffin, so we heard a lot about Blaine Gabbard. We heard a lot about Kyle Trask. We heard a lot about, you know, some of the pass rushers, a lot about the wide receivers and some of the secondary guys, which was a good thing to see. And, yeah, it seems like overall practice is progressing well. Some guys are making plays. Nate Brooks has been a guy who's come up. Curtis Riley has been a guy who's made some plays. Again, hope he can recover quickly from his injury. We talked about Raven Green a couple of times now. Like, guys are starting to build momentum for themselves. And, you know, we're starting to really see this competition for some of these backup jobs heat up, guys. And I'm here for it. I like healthy competition, and right now we're getting a ton of that, which is good stuff to see. But anyway, guys, what do you think about all the stuff that we talked about? Let us know. Let me know. It's not an us. I'm a one-man operation here. But what do you think about all the stuff I talked about? Let me know down in the comments section below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope y'all enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.